Hello guys, so today I'll be showing you how to add multiple listeners to a single availability group. As we know that if we create a single availability group and by default we can only add one listener for one availability group. So as of now we can see that we have already created an availability group and there is already a listener for this. By default, Microsoft SQL Server does not allow to add any further listeners to this availability group, but there is a workaround and we can easily add multiple listeners for that. So just for the testing, I'll try to connect to this listener, which is SQL Live 1 underscore list 1. As this is installed with a custom code, so I will mention that code as well. Okay, so now we are connected to this listener. Perfect, fine. For the adding the listener, we have to go to Failover Cluster Manager. In availability groups, we have to select the availability group for which we want to add the listener and then add the resource of client access point. So keep in mind the login which you are using should have create computer objects for this Active Directory. So I will just add another DNS record, SQL Live 1 underscore list 2, and we will assign another IP for that. I will just make sure that we don't have this IP for any other object in this lab. Okay. Next, it will verify everything is perfectly fine, and then it will just create the object in Active Directory. Perfectly fine. We will bring this listener online. Okay. Now we have to make sure that this listener, this DNS record and this access point is added in the dependency for the availability group. We will right click and take properties for the SQL Live 1 resource, which is under the SQL Live 1 AG role. So I will just add another dependency. Here we will see that SQL Live 1 list 2 is already listed here. One thing is important, that the selection of AND or. So as of now we will select OR because for this if any of this listener is online, then it will be the SQL Live 1 AG, it will keep on running. Otherwise, if we keep it as AND, so all these listeners should be available and online in order to keep this resource running. So we don't need this as of now, and I'll keep it as OR. Okay. And that would be all, almost. So I will verify if we have added the listener. Okay, perfectly fine, this is added. But still, if we try to connect to this listener, it will not connect because we have not added the port in this listener. So this is the last step. Now we will add a port for this listener. Once this port is configured, then it should be working fine now. Okay, so now we will try to connect with multiple listeners. See if it is. So now we have configured multiple listeners and it is using the same availability group. This multiple listener feature is very useful when you are dealing with migrations and you don't want to change the connection string for your application. So you can configure multiple listeners, and I believe the default limit is 10, so you have to change that in the Active Directory, so you can add more computer objects in one cluster. And then I think there is a maximum limit for computer objects, but I'm not sure about that. But as of now, you would be good for 5 or 10 listeners. So that would be all. Thank you very much for watching.